Hare Krishna devotees, Prabhujis and Mataji, Dandvat Pranam and Hare Krishna to all of you. So I welcome you to today's class. And this is the last chapter of Bhagavad Gita. In fact, Bhagavad Gita, the discourse of Lord Krishna to Arjuna that ended with chapter number 17. Now this is just an overview of entire Bhagavad Gita, right from chapter 1 to 17. That is from Karma Yoga to Jnana Yoga to Ashtanga Yoga and thereafter devotional service. And the supremacy of devotional service has been established in Karma Yoga, in Jnana Yoga, as well as in the Ashtanga Yoga. So that was the final ultimate, dictate in chapter number 12, the Bhakti Yoga, that Lord gave a lot of information about the process of bhakti and also who was very dear to him. In this chapter, the perfection of renunciation, Arjun, as usual, is asking first question is, first verse lists two questions from Arjuna, that what is difference between detachment and a person who is in renunciation, a renounced order of life, or a sannyasi. What is tyaga or detachment and what renunciation, and what is sannyas, that is renounced order of life, difference between the two and how they interconnect with each other. This is a long chapter containing about 78 verses, and the sections, the first part deals with the Karma Yoga, second part deals with the Jnana Yoga, third, the ladder of yoga, yogic exercises, or mystic yoga, that is Ashtanga Yoga. Then in all these yoga, ultimately, devotional service has been indicated to be the supreme most, because that is the ultimate goal of karma, jnana, or yoga. So how, after this yoga ladder, Krishna tells, in yoga ladder, Krishna tells about how modes control the activities and how sakam karma should be given up and instead nishkam karma should be done. And after nishkam karma, how devotional service should develop, leading to liberation of this. And what is pure devotional service? Lord Krishna tells about it. Then he gives more confidential knowledge that ultimate goal of devotional service is to surrender to Super Soul or Paramatma future. Then in further sections of this chapter, Lord tells about that what is the benefit of preaching and studying Bhagavad Gita. That is what we are doing, and that will be a very important section for all of us to know how that reading and studying or preaching Bhagavad Gita is part of devotional service. This is the essence of this section. Then ultimately, after listening all this discourse from Lord Krishna, Arjun is firmly convinced and established that what is his role in the battlefield and what he should be doing. He should act as per the Krishna's directives. Ultimately, he surrendered. We will know that, we remember that in the second chapter he surrenders. First chapter, in the end of first chapter, he surrenders that I am confused. Now please guide me. And ultimately, Krishna guides him through chapter 2 to 17. So after, in the last section of chapter number 18, it is Sanjaya who is telling Dhritarashtra, Maharaja Dhritarashtra, that victory of Pandavas and Arjuna is certain. And he remembers very fascinatingly the Krishna's universal form, and he predicts that Krishna and Arjuna are going to be victorious in this battle ultimately. So this is how the chapter goes, 18. Now the connection so far as the relationship between chapter 17 and chapter 18 is concerned. In fact, in chapter number 17, we have just now seen that goal of human life is to surrender to Krishna. And in chapter 18, Arjuna asks about detachment and renunciation, and Arjuna, after asking this question, Krishna replies, ultimate, the gist of this section is the dutiful detached, that is perform dutifully your prescribed duties, but do not be attached to the results of your work, and then it will incur no reaction. We will remember one of the doubts of Arjuna in chapter number 1 was that killing my seniors or elders or my relatives and friends and other soldiers will incur a sinful reaction. It should be a sin to kill all these people. So the final verdict from Krishna comes that it shall be no sin if you kill all these persons who are already killed by him, as mentioned in chapter 11 and chapter 11. So that is the ultimate chapter, and this is a long chapter. I'll try to finish up a bit fast in this chapter. So before we start, let us have prayers. Let us have initial prayers to Shri Radha Govindji, and also seek blessings of Nam Nishdas Prabhuji, the temple president, ISKCON Bengaluru, Kulai, who has been kind enough to give us this platform of studying and discussing Bhagavad Gita, Krishna Sandesh of message. And yes, Richa Jain Mataji would like to say prayers.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yes, Mataji, please.
Om Agyantimirandhasya Jnananjan Salakaya Chakshur Anmiltam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namah. Om Namah Vishnu Padaya Krishna Presthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamini Iti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Sunyavadi Paschayata Desatarine Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna Karuna Sindho Dina Bandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radha Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare.
Thank you, Mataji. So we will start today's presentation in chapter number 17, the last chapter. The connection I have already mentioned, that this connection is that surrender to Krishna is the ultimate goal of all goal or objective of human life. So one should surrender unconditionally with unflinching faith and render loving devotional service to Krishna. So that is the purpose a human form of life is given to anyone. Now in the relationship, after surrendering, this is the ultimate objective of human life, and ultimately in chapter 18 the summary of entire Bhagavad Gita is given. These are the sections we have already passed through these sections, and main important point was the different modes under which food is consumed, sacrifice, austerity and charities are given, and ultimately Om Tat Sat, which is the first word of all the Vedic hymns, and also the different meanings of Om, that absolute truth, or Lord Krishna himself. Tat means detachment from material entanglement, and Sat means Jiva, or the soul and super soul. Jiva Bhuta is a material body included. So this was summary, and these are 11 sections in chapter number 18. Different sections I have already summarized. They will go on discussing as we proceed in this section, different section wise. So first section is dealing with, this is the chapter summary of first 6 chapters of Bhagavad Gita, that is Karma Yoga or Karma section. Yes, Richa Jain Mataji, please start reading.
Summary of chapter 1 to 6, Karma section. Summary section A is true renunciation and brings freedom from reaction. 1 to 6. A true sannyasi does not renounce his activities, but renounces the fruits of his activities. 7 to 12. Renouncing one's prescribed duties in illusion is ignorance. Renouncing one's prescribed duties out of fear is passion. But dutifully performing one's prescribed duties with detachment is renunciation in goodness. Such renouncers suffer no reactions.
Thank you,
verse
Mataji.
18.1.22.
So this is section number 1, which is inclusive of 12 verses, 1 to 12. In the first verse, first 6 verses describe what is detachment and what is a true sannyasi. In fact, a true sannyasi is one who is not attached to activities. He performs certain duties, prescribed duties, but those prescribed duties are 2 types, nitya karma and kami karma. We will discuss about those karmas later. So a true detachment is giving up the desire to, enjoy the fruits of one's activities. That is detachment. That means prescribed duties performed without any desire for enjoying the fruits or reactions of those activities. That is detachment. A sannyasi is a person who is in a renounced order of life. And we know there are 4 ashramas there. Then sannyas was an ashrama, last ashrama, in which person after vanaprastha proceeds to sannyas. He perform. Now there are many schools of thoughts. There are principally 2 schools of thought. One says that a sannyasi should give up all kind of activities because they might involve some degree of violence. And the other school says that is Gemini, other was the Kapil Muni's Sankhya philosophy, which says all activities must be given up, all activities, including austerity, charity, and sacrifice. But the other school of thought says that all fruitive activities should be given up. Sacrifice, austerity, and penance must be performed even by sannyasis. So this is part 1 of the section 8. And in the second section, renounce one's duty in illusion is ignorance. One should not renounce under influence of Maya. And second is under passion. That means one's prescribed duties out of fear. If it does not, that is in mode of passion. But person who are in mode of goodness, they should not renounce their duties, prescribed duties as per their Varna ashrama. And when they should not do it in the sakam manner, they should do it in the manner of nishkam karma, so that there is no reaction and there is no binding so far as results are concerned. Yes, Mataji. So this is verse number 1. Yes, please continue.
Arjun Uvach Sanyasaya Mahabhao Tattvam Ichhami Veditam Tyagasya Cha Hrishikesha Prathak Kesi Sudanana. Arjun said, O mighty armed one, I wish to understand the purpose of renunciation, Tyag, and of the renounced order of life, Sannyas. O killer of Kesi demon, master of the senses.
Thank you, Mataji. So 2 words have been used by Arjuna for Lord Krishna here. One is Rishikesha. Now, Rishikesha, we know one who has controlled his master of or controller of all senses. And Krishna is the controller and the originator or creator of senses. So he is master of senses. So Arjuna wants his senses to be directed by Krishna as per his instruction. He wants to act. And second word is used as Kesi Nishodhana. Keshi was a demon. You can see in the right side picture. This is a Kesi was a horse demon, and it was sent by Kansa to kill Krishna as a child. So now as Krishna killed Kesi, the horse demon, similarly Arjuna wants the demon of doubts in his mind to be killed by Krishna. So this is why Krishna is being addressed here as Rishikesha and Kesi Nidrina. So Arjuna says that now, as I mentioned, that he wants to know what is the purpose of renunciation, that is Tyaga. Why one should do Tyag at all, and what kind of Tyag is to be done. This is in further verses. And what is the purpose of sannyas? People take sannyas, that means they take up the renounced order of life, and they move away from all material entanglements, just doing all kind of sacrifice, tapas, and austerity, and the charities. So Arjuna is asking here, what is detachment and what is the purpose of taking sannyas. Krishna describes here that detachment means, or renunciation means, forgiving, yeah, or giving up the results of actions of one's activities. Even the prescribed duties are to be performed as per Varna and Ashrama. So those prescribed duties have to be performed, but the results coming out of those activities should not be consumed or should not be used by the person. The results should also be offered to Lord Krishna. So that is real renunciation. And second is sannyas. Sannyas means moving out from the grahastha, from vanaprastha stage, and moving out for devoting all one's mind, one's time, mind, and senses in the service of Lord. That is sannyasa. That is complete detachment from material entanglement and leading a complete spiritual life, performing activities as per the prescriptions or injunctions of Vedic literature. So, as I mentioned, there are two schools of thoughts. The sannyasis, should they do sacrifice, charity, and austerity or not? And the other school says that these should also be given up. These should be given up. This is the philosophy of Kapil Sankhya philosophy says that a sannyasi should not do any activity, should not perform sacrifice, should not perform charity, should not perform austerity, because some degree of violence may be involved in sacrifice. So the other school of thought, that is Jainism, they say that these activities of austerity, charity, and sacrifice should not be given up by even by sannyasi. So this is the background which is coming up for the entire chapter here, 18.1 and 18.2. Yes, Mataji.
Shri Bhagavan Uvaj Kamyanam Karmanam Nyasam Sanyasam Kavayo Vidu Sarva Karma Phal Tyagam Prahustyagam Vichakshana. The Supreme Lord said, to give up the results of all activities is called renunciation, Tyaga, by the wise. And the state is called the renounced order of life, Sannyasa, by great learned men.
Thank you, Mataji. So when a person has given up the results or the fruits or benefits of all his activities which are prescribed in Vedic literature, then he is said to be in a order of sannyas, or he is said to be a sannyasi. Now, what are these activities which Krishna is talking about? Activities are of two types as they are prescribed in the Vedic literatures. First activity is Nitya Karma, and the second activity is Kamya Karma. Nitya Karma means daily activities, which are daily activities of in relation to devotional service as prescribed in the Vedic literature. That is getting up early, keeping body clean, wearing new clean clothes daily, then doing loving devotional service of Lord, remembering the name, form, activities, and pastimes of Lord, and studying Vedic literature, preaching, all these, and doing morning and evening bandhana and puja. So all these are nitya karmas. So second, in these karmas, there is no desire for utilization of the fruits or benefits of these activities. They are totally surrendered activities performed as a devotional service to Lord. And nitya karma, and second is kamya karma, activities which are performed by living entities in order with a desire to get some benefit. Like sometimes people do sacrifice for or charity for gaining some kind of benefit, admission in a good school or a good job or a good marriage partner. So all these are kamya karmas. So giving now here activities to give us the results of activities. In Kami Karma, we want the results of activities to be utilized by or benefit of the activities to be enjoyed by the living person. One who renounce this is these activity, the fruits of these activities. This activity is called as renunciation, and a person who has proceeded to beyond the renunciation and there is no material entanglement, then he is called as sannyasi or a renounced order of life. Yes, Mataji.
त्याज्यम दोष वदित्यके कर्म प्राहुमर निषिणा यज्ञ दान तप कर्म न त्यज्य मीति चापरे. Some learned men declare that all kinds of fruitive activities should be given up. But there are yet other sages who maintain that acts of sacrifice, charity, and penance should never be abandoned.
Thank you, Mataji. So, as I mentioned, there are two schools of Tyajyam Doshvad iti eke karma prahur manishana yajna dana tapa karma na tyajyam iti chapre. Yaj, that means sacrifice, dan, charity, tapa means austerity. These activities, na tyajyam iti chapre, some say that these activities should not be given up. Now, there, as I mentioned, there are two schools of thought. Tyajyam doshvad iti eke karma prahur manishna. The Kapil Muni's philosophy of analytical study or Sankhya philosophy says that even all activities related to sacrifice, austerity, and charity should be given up by a sannyasi, because some degree of violence may be possible when performing some kind of sacrifice. This is Kapil's Sankhya philosophy. But Krishna, the other school of thought, as I mentioned, is Jaimini philosophy. It says that a person who is a renounced order of life should not give up charity, sacrifice, and also austerity. That means a sannyasi should do charity, should also do sacrifice, should also do austerity. So these are two schools of thought, and I have mentioned is sannyasi. There are two persons. Now, sannyasi, he performs nitya karma, but he does not perform kami karma. That means he performs nitya karma activities as prescribed in the Vedic scriptures, but he does not perform kami karma, the activities which result into some kind of fruits, which are fruitive in nature. But a tyagi, he performs nitya karma as well, but tyag means that performing nitya karma as well as kami karma. Tyag means that tyag is not total renunciation. A sannyasi performs nitya karma, does not perform kami karma, but in tyag means tyag can be done by anyone, or renunciation. He performs nitya karma as well as kami karma, but his kami karma are nishkam karma. They are he does not look for any kind of material benefit out of his activities. So this is the difference between sannyasi and the activities performed by a sannyasi, activities performed by in mode of renunciation. Is this point clear, or do I need to explain again? Anyone? Am I clear about this nitya karma and kami karma, and what is sannyasi, what sannyasi does, and what is renunciation or tyaga?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. If you repeat, I'll be very happy, Prabhuji, once again.
Mataji, there is background and noise is there. I'm not able to hear you. Hare Krishna, Mataji. Nitya karma and kami karma. What does a sannyasi do? I will repeat. Sannyasi does nitya karma only. Activities, devotional activities, aspects of different devotional activities as prescribed in Vedic literature, but he does not do kami karma. Kami karma means the activities which are performed with the desire of some benefits or some fruit or results. In tyaga, both activities like nitya karma and kami karma are performed, but results are not enjoyed by the doer. He gives up all the results, and activities are done for gaining advancement in spiritual knowledge, gaining advancement in purification, and also for liberation. Performs in tyaga, everything is centered towards Krishna. They are dovetailed with Krishna, and they are not performed for own enjoyment. So this is the meaning of two things. The two schools of thought I just mentioned. One is Kapil Dev's Sankhya philosophy, and the other is Jaimini philosophy. So this is the doubt Arjuna had. Now Lord Krishna has cleared this thing. Yes, Mataji. verse number 5.
Yes, Prabhuji. Yagyedan tapah karma na tyajyam karyamev tat Yagyodanam tapasche pavanani manishinam. Acts of sacrifice, charity, and penance are not to be given up, but should be performed. Indeed, sacrifice, charity, and penance purify even the great souls.
So this is about, now can you describe this picture, Mataji? What is happening here on right hand side?
Yes, Prabhuji. Sorry, Prabhuji, I don't.
Anyone would like to comment? The picture on right hand side, you see?
Prabhuji, Yagya is performed where the Yagya God Sri Vishnuji, he is blessing everyone there. There under we can see the Shiva and all God,
But
demigods.
who is performing this? Who started this yajna, sacrifice? Anyway, he is Daksha Prajapati. You can see the face of a
Prajapati.
goat, you know?
Yes.
So Sati is seated along with Parvati is seated with Lord Shiva. Daksha Prajapati is performing. Now Daksha Prajapati performed this as a duty, not for fruitive results. Of course, his approach in not inviting Shiva, Lord Shiva, was a different issue. So acts of sacrifice, charity, and penance are not to be given up. So a sannyasi, a person who is in a renounced order of life, must also do sacrifice, charity, and penance, and he should not give up. Why he should perform? The basic purpose of taking sannyas or adopting the renounced order of life is to purify one's existence and be absorbed all the time in the devotional service of Lord. So they are basically purifying activities. So even if a person is in renounced order of life, he should continue to do this sacrifice, charity, and penance. Yes, Mataji.
Yes. Etan, yes. Etanyapi tu karmani sanktyaktva falani cha kartavya niti me partha nishchitam matmutam mamam. All these activities should be performed without any expectation of result. They should be performed as a matter of duty, O son of Partha. That is my final opinion.
Thank you, Mataji. So, Nishitam Matam Uttamam. This is my firm opinion. The final opinion is that one should perform all the duties which are prescribed in Vedic scriptures for a particular varna and ashrama. So these activities should not be given up, not even for a sannyasi. In renounced order of life, one should continue to perform sacrifice, austerity, and charity. That is the final opinion of Lord Krishna. You can see this picture here. There was some animal, a calf perhaps drowning, a person out of his duty, considering that animal life is to be saved, he rescues this animal from getting drowned. So, and now this is an activity which is performed as a result, as a consideration of one's duty. Secondly, he is not expecting any kind of result or benefit by taking this drowning animal. And thirdly, these activities are basically duty without any kind of result, and they are non-binding. They do not result any kind of entanglement into the or engagement into the cycle of birth and death. So this is his final opinion, that all activities must be done as prescribed in this Vedic scripture for a particular varna and ashrama. They should be done as a duty. And we have seen that earlier Lord Krishna in last chapter described that charity should be given as a duty. It should not, or sacrifice should be done as a duty, not with any kind of result orientation. Also, the right person, worthy person, right time, right place should be chosen for doing all kind of these activities, austerity, charity, or sacrifice of food, of course, has given. So this is Krishna's opinion that we should do our prescribed duty. The pointer is towards Arjuna here, that your prescribed duty as Kshatriya is to fight and kill the enemy who is on path of irreligion. This is the indication of Lord Krishna in this verse 6. Yes, Mataji.
Prabhuji, if I understood it right, so there were two schools of thoughts,
Yes.
which was one was saying that we should not abandon the results of sacrifice, charity, and austerity, and the other was saying that we should not, we should abandon or we should not abandon. So the Krishna ji is finally saying that that it should be done as a prescribed duty and with no desire of results.
Yes, Mataji. And also it will not occur any kind of reaction, because he said that it will be a sin to kill my seniors, elders. So Krishna is giving up all activities, fruitive activities, giving up all kind of fruitive activities, because they are faulty, they might result into violence. While performing sacrifice, one may consider that because of that intense heat of sacrifice or yajna, some animals or some invisible insects might get killed. So Lord, this is the philosophy of Kapil Muni. Kapil Muni's philosophy says, give up all activities. Then in the Jainism, in Lord Jaimini school of thought, it is said that no, the prescribed duties must be performed, but their results should be given up. So there are a school of thought. Now, Krishna is giving here the other part, the Jaimini school of thought he is supporting here, that you should perform your activities, but give up all the results of activities. And when these results will, these activities will also not be binding, they will also not incur any kind of reaction. That means you will not incur any kind of sin by killing your seniors or elders. Your comprehension is perfectly correct, Mataji. That is what is happening. So in the verse 7, there, again the same thing is described here. Prescribed duty should never be renounced. If one gives up his prescribed duty out of illusion, Maya, Arjuna was suffering from Maya because he was seeing in those great persons his relationship, bodily relationship. He was not recognized that they are also representing Krishna. They are part of, they have eternal soul and super soul. So under it becomes activity under passion if he does not fight. So Krishna says that it is illusion which you are suffering from by considering these elderly person as your relatives. They are already, even if you don't kill them, they will already, or they are already dead, or ultimately they will ultimately die one or other day. So why not kill them as a part of your duty at this moment? And in mode of renunciation is said to be the mode of ignorance. So two modes when renunciation can be done. So this is described here. Verse number, yes, anybody else would like to recite now? Verse number 8.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yes, Mataji. Please take up.
Thank
Hare
you, Prabhu.
Krishna.
Yes.
May I or somebody?
Yeah, please continue.
Yes. Hare Krishna. दुःखमित्येव यत् कर्म कायक्लेशभ्यात्यजेत स कृत्वा राजसं त्यागं नैव त्यागं फलं लभेत. Anyone who gives us prescribed duties as troublesome or out of fear of bodily discomfort is said to have renounced in the mode of passion. Such action never leads to the elevation of renunciation.
Thank you, Mataji.
Thank you.
Kaya klesh bhayat tyajit. One, kaya klesh means bodily discomfort. Bhayat, fear. Tyajit means does not perform or does the tyaga or renounces. So anyone who gives up prescribed duties as troublesome or out of fear of bodily comfort is said to have renounced in mode of passion. This was a part of illusion also. In fact, in earlier verse it was labeled as illusion. We know that sometimes we have a prescribed duty in whatever varnashrama to get up early in the morning, do worship, devotional service to Lord, attend some kind of puja, arti, and perform other devotional activities. But the kaya klesh bhayat tyajit, but kaya klesh, the body will be put to discomfort if I get up early in the morning. So if this is my duty, but if I, because of my comfort, I do not do it, then it is said to be in mode of passion. Such actions never leads to elevation or renunciation. That means the tapas or the austerity we are performing is not there if we are lazy, we are lethargic, we do not get up and do our routine nitya karma. That is the meaning of this point here. So renunciation, in fact, tyaga and sannyas, two words are basically, when we analyze the earlier verses, that is verse number 6 and 7, they are carrying the same type of meaning. Tyaga and sannyas is same thing virtually, and finally Krishna has used word renunciation for both these activities. That means there is no difference between renouncement of life and renunciation of the fruit of work. A sannyasi is also doing the same thing. A sannyasi, what he does not consume any kind of benefit or advantage or the results of his pious activities. He offers them also to Lord. So renunciation, now ultimately two words have been integrated in these last two verses, and that is the renounce order of life and renunciation. They are same, and single word of renunciation is used by Krishna now in this verse also. Such action never leads to elevation of renunciation. So the basic renunciation is giving up the results of all activities, performing them as prescribed duty, and also what are these activities? Nitya karma and kami karma, and these activities are defined as sacrifice, austerity, and penance. So these are three activities which should not be given up. So yes, we will come. This is a pictorial summary. Yes, Mataji, you may read pictorial summary of what we have learned so far.
Yes, Prabhuji. Symptoms of proper renunciation, intelligent renouncer. One who is in the mode of goodness. Second is neither hateful of inauspicious work nor attached to auspicious work, which means one does not hate anyone or anything that troubles his body, works in proper place at proper time, without fearing the troublesome effects. 3 has no doubt about work.
So this is a summary of verse number 10 is a summary that what is a medhavi. Medhavi means a person who is intelligent. How does he act? He is always fixed in mode of goodness. That is, he always possesses sattvic yoga. He's in a sattvic state, and his activity renunciation is sattvic tyaga. He is neither hateful nor he does not hate, or he does not is not attached to the auspicious and inauspicious work. He is in totally detest to whether the work is auspicious or inauspicious, and he has no doubt about his work. And these are our spiritual masters. Can anybody name them in any order? Who are these 5 spiritual masters of ISKCON? Of course, 6th present spiritual master of ISKCON is Jayapataka Swami Maharaj. But who are these?
Even we can say Prabhupada ji, and then the 5 we are talking about, then Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda. If so,
No, not Mataji, not that.
no? Okay.
Srila Prabhupada is, yes, on first left,
Yes.
as we go from left to right. First is Srila Prabhupada, second is Bhakti Siddhant Saraswati
Bhakti
Thakur.
Siddhanta Saraswati.
Yes, third
Gora
is
Kishore.
third
Gora
one
Kishore.
is
Gora Kishore
Yeah, Gaura Kishore Das Baba Ji Maharaj.
Das Prabhuji.
Fourth, Bhakti Vinod Thakur, Srila Bhakti Vinod Thakur. And last is Jagannath Das Baba Maharaj. So these are 5 spiritual masters, and one has to, by seeing their pictures, one should know their name. So first is Srila Prabhupada, second is Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati, Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati, third is Gaura Kishore Das Babaji, and fourth is Bhakti Vinod Thakur, and fifth on the rightmost picture is Sri Jagannath Thakur Maharaj. So these are 5 spiritual masters, and they were intelligent renouncers. This picture is given in relation to intelligent renouncer. They had sattvic tyaga, that is, their renunciation was in mode of goodness. And they were not connected, attached to either any auspicious or inactive. For them, all is auspicious and inauspicious activities were same. Why? Because they saw Krishna in all activities. They saw in each person who was a evil or a good person or a pious person. They saw soul and super soul, presence of soul and super soul, not what his material body was performing. And has no doubts about work. That means whatever prescribed duties were there, they performed them religiously without any doubts or without any application of their discrimination or, arguments or logic. So this is verse number 10. Yes, Mataji, meaning is given. Verse number 10.
Yes.
Chanda Mataji.
Yes, Prabhuji. न द्वेष्ट्य कुशलं कर्म कुशलेनानो नानुषज्यते त्यागी सत्त्वसमाविष्टो मेधावी शून्य संशयः.
Yes, Mataji.
Okay. For one who is, am I reading the correct?
No, this is for 10. 10, you have to read at the bottom of the picture.
Okay. The intelligent renouncer situated in the mode of goodness, neither helpful of inauspicious work nor attached to auspicious work, has no doubts about work.
So this picture shows that there is a lady cleaning pots. In fact, it is whether it's a good work or a bad work, she is not concerned with it. She is concerned with her duty. What is her duty? So in mode of goodness, any activity which is performed, the person does not look at the auspicious or inauspicious work. He performs it as a mark of duty in mode of goodness. So he does not doubt, or the person does not doubt about his work, whether I should do it or not do it. He does not apply his logic or discrimination. Verse number 12.
Yes, Prabhuji. Anishtamishtam mishram cha trividham karanah phalam bhavatyagatyaginam pratyanato sannyasinam kavachita. For one who is not renounced, the threefold fruit of action, desirable, undesirable, and mixed, acquire after death. But those who are in the renounced order of the life have no such result to suffer or enjoy.
Thank you. Anishtam, Ishtam, Mishram. Anisht means rather undesirable. And Ishtam means something which is auspicious and good. And Mishtam means that is a mixture of undesirable and pious. Mishram. So, Tribidham Karmanam Phalam. The fruits of these activities are 3 types. So what are those 3 types? First is action will lead to, in fact, basically 3 results, 3 kinds of results after death. So what are those? First is Ishtam. Let us take Ishtam first. Anishtam, Ishtam, and Mishram. So Anishtam is Ishtam means desirable, that is heavenly enjoyment. Ishtam means that activities will lead to liberation and enjoyment in the heavenly planets. Anishtam means undesirable. Then if Anishtam means if undesirable activities are performed, they will lead to hellish life. They will lead to sufferings. And Mishram means mixed. Mixed means the desirable activities as well as undesirable activities. So these are the the results which one suffers after leaving this body. But one who is sannyasinam kavachit, but one who is in a mode of renounced order of life, or who is in a total mode of renunciation, he does not suffer from any kind of anisht, isht, or mish activity. He does not suffer from any kind of undesirable or the prescribed or the mixed reactions after leaving this body. Since we know all actions have got some kind of reactions. So how is that the Karma Yogi with the spirit of renunciation avoids bondage to karmic reactions? There is no karmic reaction when one works without the false identification as the doer. So if one considers himself as the doer, that I am the doer, then there is a reaction. But if a person does not act with the concept that I am the doer of this activity, or I am doing this charity or sacrifice and austerity, then there is no reaction. And this is what sannyasi or renunciation in fact mean. Because such a person, such a sannyasi who is doing activities with this concept that I am not the doer, he possesses the knowledge, and this knowledge leads to liberation. So one has to perform all his activities with a concept that I am not the doer, I am not the beneficiary of all these fruits which have ensued after doing the activities. It is my prescribed duty only that I am performing. Then person is not neither bound, he is liberated, and he enjoys the fruits of activities indirectly, but he surrenders them to Lord Krishna. So he is not enjoyer, Krishna is enjoyer of the activity of such a person. So this is what is given in this. Now in verse number 13 to 17, Krishna, what this principle that is described in 18.12 is going to explain in verse number 13 to 17, this principle of 5 factors of action. You know, 5 factors, will come to this section. Yes, Pankaj Dubey Prabhu, you wanted to read? This is a summary of next section.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Summary, chapter 30 to 70. The conclusion of Sankhya and Vedanta, the action directed by the super soul, bring the freedom from reaction. 13 to 18, the Krishna cities Vedanta and analyze the activity as comprised for a 5 factor. This is to help us to perform the activities without becoming bound. Some prominent of these factors in the super soul. Acting under the super soul direction, one is unaffected by the reaction to his action.
Thank you, Mataji. So thank you, Prabhuji. So the conclusion of Sankhya and Vedanta philosophy is actions directed by super soul bring freedom from a reaction. Krishna cites Vedanta and analyzes activities as comprised of 5 factors. What are these 5 factors? We have discussed these 5 factors before also, which result into execution of an activity. This is to help us perform activities without becoming bound. These 5 factors are basically the doer of action, the place of action, the senses, the action itself, and the super soul. These are 5 factors which make a work happen, which make an activity happen. Without these 5 factors, an action cannot be performed. So we will discuss about these in subsequent verses. And most prominent of these factors is super soul, because super soul is Anumanta and Anudrashta. Without the permission or sanction of super soul, an action cannot be performed. Whether it is a mode of action, mode of goodness, mode of passion, or mode of ignorance. So super soul is Anumanta, is a loving father. Whatever child the soul desires to perform, the super soul or the loving father permits it to. This is what is minute independence granted to soul for individual soul by the super soul. So when one person is acting under instructions of super soul in a mode of goodness, action is liberating. When a person is acting under instruction of super soul in mode of passion, then it is binding. And when it is in mode of ignorance, it is all foolish and leads to degradation in the form of life. So the importance here is again being in second important factor. First important factor is super soul. Second important factor is the mode which controls our actions. So this is the summary of Gyan section. Earlier for section 1, we heard about the Karma Yoga, and now the Gyan section begins. That is part 2 or section 2 of 11 sections, and it describes the word Gyan Yoga. Yes, Prabhuji. Verse number 13 and 14 together here.
Yes, Prabhuji. O mighty arm Arjun, learn from me of the 5 factors which bring about the
Accomplishment
accomplished of the all action. These are declared in the Sankhya philosophy to be the place of action, the performer, the sense, the endeavors, and ultimately the super soul.
So these are 5 factors which make a work accomplished. First is place of action. You can see in this picture, there is a place where some kind of activity is going to take place. Second is the performer. You can see these engineers have gathered here. So place is there, performer or the doer is there, and the person is planning to create some kind of a structure here. Then the senses, he's also using his senses. Or senses means senses, we know that there are 5 senses or 11 senses, mind and other 10 senses. So he is using, this performer is using his senses to create some kind of design. Then there is an endeavor. Endeavor means as effort. He is using effort. The other people are using effort to create this kind of a structure, and ultimately the super soul. So ultimately this structure is created. The super soul is guiding all these activities, the place, the person, the doer, the senses, and the effort itself for the action. All are being performed here. So can we have another example where these 5 from our daily life, where some kind of these 5 factors are involved and they are happening? We are doing so many activities, but can we relate these activities with our 5 factors of action which accomplish this activity? Anything, I mean, in whatever we are doing on day-to-day basis in our life, all these 5 factors of actions are there. Unless they are not there, even one is missing, work will not be accomplished. So just let us say from our daily life or our daily activities in workplace, home, or maybe outside in market.
Prabhuji,
Yes,
the way I would like to just say that when I teach my child, so the place of action is generally at my home. Performer, I'm also the performer and she's also the performer.
very
So we
nice.
both use all the senses, listening, I mean ears, eyes, the endeavor. So we both put the efforts of learning and me in teaching, and ultimately the super soul is present in her also and me also.
Very nice. Very nice example. Very nice. Thank you, Mataji. This is a very nice example. In fact, so these 5 factors are there in whatever we are doing, teaching, eating, or going to market. Now, this is a picture on right hand side. You can see there is a marketplace and there is some kind of business going on. There is a person who is a buyer. There is a person who is seller. There is an object which is being sold. and there is a place that is market, and who is guiding all these person, the buyer and seller, as you said, in case of your child teaching, it is a super soul which is guiding, which is better, which is so, and through super soul, the senses are acting, and the person is using his senses to select that item of purchase. In, say, in a battlefield also, same thing, these 5 factors are involved. There is a doer, there is a place, and there is an action to kill the enemy. There is a place which is the battlefield or the border of 2 countries. So, and the person doers are the soldiers who are fighting. Then he is using his intelligence and senses to strike the enemy. So, and who is guiding all these factors? Then so cell and effort is killing. The activity he performs in killing the enemy is the effort or endeavor that he's moving ahead, he's targeting, aiming at the enemy. So whatever we do, these 5 factors are always there. The place, the doer, the person who is doing, the senses, the effort or the activity requiring any kind of endeavor, and ultimately this super soul. So Krishna is telling, but who is guiding these 5 factors? If it is done, activity is done in mode of goodness, the result is good. But these 5 factors are present when activity is done in mode of passion or in mode of ignorance. Then also these factors are present, because without these 5 factors, an action, whether in mode of goodness, in mode of ignorance, or mode of passion, cannot be accomplished. So yes, Mataji, next verse. I think these 5 factors are clear. So, but emphasis is again, not only 5 factors, so they are complementary, but the primary factor is the mode in which an action is being performed using these 5 factors. Yes, Mataji.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yes, Prabhuji. Sorry.
शरीरावन मनोभिर्यत् कर्म परभापते नरः नायं व विपन्तं व पंचैते तस्य हितवः. Whatever right or wrong, the action a man performed by body, mind, or speech is caused by these 5 factors.
So, as I just now mentioned, whether in mode of goodness, mode of ignorance, or mode of passion, these 5 factors always are involved in doing an activity or an action. So, whether we do it, and these activities are whether these are done with the speech or the mind or the body, these 5 factors are always the background under which activity is performed. So we have covered 15 verses. Now time is up for us. It is 8 o'clock already. The other batch will join. If there is any question, Prabhuji, please continue tomorrow. Verse number 15
Yes,
will repeat. So any question, quick question we can have just now. Is understanding of what we have discussed today clear?
Yes, Prabhuji. Actually, Prabhuji, every field and every thing we require these 5.
Yes.
We required action to perform. It is a vice versa, this 5 things. We can correlate it in the daily life also.
Yes. So whatever we are doing through body, through physically, through body, through our mind, or through our speech, these 5 factors dominate. And who decides how these factors are used? That is the mode which decides whether it is activity is being done in mode of ignorance, passion, or goodness. So this Krishna is telling Arjuna these about these factors, because he is going to emphasize in further verses already done, that these have to be performed as prescribed duties in mode of goodness. Then you will not incur any sinful reaction, and there shall be no binding sin or no reaction, and it will be performed as duty, because you are not desiring. And why you are not desiring? Krishna has already told him that if you get killed, you go to heavens and enjoy the luxuries, opulences of heavenly planets. And if you win this battle, then you are going to enjoy the opulence of this Hastinapur or that state. So this is what Krishna is saying, that activities must be performed in mode of goodness and or without desire for any results or enjoyment of any kind of fruit or activities. Thank you. So if there is nothing, we can stop here. We'll continue tomorrow, same time. So, Mataji, Richajan Mataji, you may say the closing prayer before we close down today's chapter. Richajan Mataji. Hare Krishna. Please unmute.
Yes, Prabhu.
Yes.
Prabhuji, in the closing prayer, we
Vancha
say the prayer.
Vancha
Which one? Vancha Kalpa. Prabhuji, if somebody else can do that.
Okay. Okay. Anybody else would like to say? Chan-
Can I see Prabhuji?
Yes, Mataji. Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji.
Vancha kalpatarubhrascha krupa sindhu devacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Anantakoti Vaishnav Vrinda ki jai. Namacharya Shri Haridas Thakur ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Thank you,
Dhanyavad.
Prabhuji. Thank you, Prabhuji and Mataji, for your association this evening. And Hare Krishna and Dandavat Pradam to all of you. Hare Krishna. Thank you. Please fill in the
Prabhuji,
Thank you,
attendance.
Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Thank
I
you.
couldn't fill the attendance form because in
I
this
posted
mobile
it,
it is
Mataji.
not opening. Yeah,
I
it's
have
not
post-
opening, Prabhuji.
Okay, I will
But
post
I'm
it
pressing.
again just now. Mataji, please fill
No,
in.
no, it won't open in this mobile, Prabhuji. This is another mobile.
Okay, okay.
I don't know why it doesn't work in this. It's okay. Tomorrow I'll
Yeah, please.
fill
I will
it
post
twice.
it in the group and then you can, in fact, sign over there. Thank you very
Yeah,
much.
that I can do. Yeah,
Okay,
thank you.
Mataji, if such happens, so you can copy and just copy the message, paste the message on Google, and then you can fill the form. This is happening with me also, so this is how I'm doing. Thank you.
Okay, copy text I did. Later
Yes,
what I should do, Mataji?
you can open the Google Chrome and paste it there, and then the same page will open.
Okay. I don't know how to do. I'll
So,
try. Otherwise, Prabhuji kindly post it in the group.
yeah, I'll post in the group also.
Chrome,
So
how to
thank you
go to
very much.
Google Chrome? Okay.
Adya, you are there?
Prabhuji, they're all the children from
Yes,
8
yes.
to 9 p.m.
Yes, Adya, I am making you, assigning you this class now and as host, and please carry on till your teacher joins.
Hare Krishna, Dandavat Pranam.
Hare Krishna, Dandavat Pranam. Adya is now the host, new host. I'm